What is happening, guys? Welcome back to another video on my channel, Wicked Garage. We are not in our shop today. We are actually at another person's shop. We are modifying a flatbed, which I will go into more detail shortly. But before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy the content, hit that like button. If you have any comments on this video or any other video that we did, just throw a comment down below and I'll get back to it. So let's get into it. So what we have here is an old Dodge 600. It's a very cool looking truck. Perfect patina. It's gonna stay like this. This was the original body on this truck. And what we actually did, my uncle already started. We flipped this over so it creates like this nice like slant on it. Looks very cool. And we're actually shortening up the frame so you can see back here. We already cut it last night, late at night, so I'm just correcting it, making everything straight. And you can see I already did that side. We got new frame rails. Old frame rails were actually bent, very thin gauge steel, so we upgraded that. He's actually going to pick up a lift for this so that we can make a dump. Plan back here, we're going to get rid of all these lights, cut these old pins out pretty much, and you can see they sort of were hacked in and not very good. So we're gonna actually cut that right here, put a nice heavy duty piece of angle in there, recreate it, make it nice, make it work the way it should. So we're on the next step. As you can see, we have the back end that we cut off. You see our line right here, and that is where we're going to cut so that we can keep that stake pocket, obviously, and shorten this up. Roughly 3 feet. We're doing 13 foot long, so it was originally about a 16-foot bed. Like I said, we upgraded the beams since we're going into, a dumping type situation. Update on the bed. You can see we welded these together. We still have to weld underneath, so when we actually dump it for the first time, I'll get under there and weld that a little bit better position. Have to finish up all of the welds for the railings and everything. We got everything situated yesterday. It was a very painstaking deal trying to measure everything, get everything perfect and set. We're changing the hinge setup that they have here. It looks like they sort of hacked it together there, so we're gonna cut it out, put a piece of angle, put new DOM pipe and a rod through there, and then we're gonna make a hitch plate for the back. Other than that, the only thing we really have to do on the top here is we have to make sure this is all flat, so we have to hit this all down. As you can see, there's some spots that are bent up, and add some stiffeners in the center. And then once we do that, we have our hoist here, and we're gonna get this all lined up. All right, guys, quick little update here. You can see we got the back hitch plate on. He wanted a hitch as well as a pintle setup, and then if he has to go lower, you can get a hitch pintle, which will work with that same bolt pattern, and yeah, it'll just make it a little bit lower. But that should be perfect height for his chipper and whatever else he needs to pull with the pintle, and then same with the trailer. But you can see we have the sides. We also have a piece going underneath the frame. Everything's fully welded besides the front on there. We have to finish welding that. And then you can see we have a little bit of the existing hole that we originally had with the DOM pipe. That's no big deal. We'll fill that in, and everything will be good. But other than that, you can see We welded everything out. This is where the DOM pipe for the hinge is gonna sit, and we'll weld that out obviously a bunch of times to create as much rigidity as possible. But we have to wait until we get the bed on here. So the first step after this, we're gonna finish welding up this tomorrow, and then, you know, the little things up underneath behind there and then over there, and stitch weld underneath here, make a bracket, weld that. And then before we do the DOM pipe or anything like that, like I said, we have to have the bed on here. We're actually gonna put the piston setup for the lift, and that's gonna go probably right about here. So tomorrow we should have the lift in, and most of this should be done. So we got the hitch plate all set up. Everything's done on the back pretty much. The only thing we have is the hinge mounts, which once we have the body in the correct position, we'll get that all set up. Might have to notch just a little bit to go a little higher. We got the lift in today. Everything ended up doing really well and fitting exactly how it should. So we have it resting on a cross member right there, and then everything else is pretty much fit up, ready to go. Other than that, cut off the front of this, shorten this down. We are making a custom behind the cab toolbox for this, and obviously we're gonna make a whole headache rack for this and get this all set up, get the floor on, and should be dumping by the end of this week, hopefully. But other than that, everything's going good, everything's looking good. Modified that a little bit this morning, made it look real nice. He already picked this up with the forklift. This is beyond strong, you know, so we don't have to worry about that. He picked this whole back end up, shifted it all the way over, didn't flex or anything, bend, nothing. But you can see we have a dual setup, the pintle hook, and the hitch setup. Here's the man, the myth, the legend.